St. John's Bar Pilot Association started in the 1800s, and the men that brought, at that time were sailing ships, brought the ships in, would row out to them and bring the ships across the bar safely into wherever they were going up the river.
Hope Tropicana, Jacksonville Pilots. Good afternoon, Captain. Go ahead.
Sir, good afternoon. 80 pilot stations 1800 over.
Okay, Captain, please proceed to anchor on arrival. Your pilot boarding time, as of now, will be November 1st at 1800. Please proceed to anchor. We'll call you when we have further instructions.
Please, can you give me the positions of the anchorage over?
Captain, you can anchor anywhere you wish. Most vessels anchor 1.5 miles northeast of buoy STJ. If you're comfortable there, that'll be fine.
Okay, copy on that, sir. Thank you
Tell
very
you a
much.
story about that real quick. And Captain, please give us a call when you drop your anchor. Thank you for coming up. Some of the charts will show some old World War II missiles. I don't know what they are out there in the water, and some of these charts still show them, even though they're not really there anymore. So some of these captains are skeptical to drop their anchor out there.
Good evening, Captain.
Hey, Chip, how you doing? That ladder look okay, but slower down here a little bit?
Yeah, roger that. Ladder looks fine.
Do it inside the rocks. I've been here for 21. So I'm the senior guy here. I'm the old man. And if things go well, I'll be here a little longer.
Long Island, where I'm circling there. Okay, and this is where the river comes down. The intercoastal waterway comes down and intersects the St. John's River.
We board the vessels at the sea buoy, which is 2 miles offshore of the beach, and we bring the ships in. The first terminal at Blunt Island is about 12 miles from the sea buoy. The other major terminal, Jacksport Terminal, is the Talleyrand Avenue, and that's about 22 miles from the sea buoy. There's terminals in between there. And then, of course, you have the downtown area with the North Florida Shipyard, and then occasionally we'll take smaller vessels up to Green Cove Springs to the docks down there, and that's another 25 miles on top of that. So total length of our pilotage is about 45 miles. Well, you have to know the currents like the back of your hand. You have to know the depth of the water in the river, not just is deep here. You have to know exactly what the depths are, where the shoals are, and whatnot. It's interesting. When you're on a deeply loaded ship, you can actually feel where there's some shoaling. Probably the strangest thing is we have some ships that go down to Puerto Rico, and a couple times a year the circus moves down to Puerto Rico. So I'll walk on board and you smell something. Well, that's the elephants and the animals that they take down there for the circus.
Looks like they've got some type of heavy equipment. I don't know what's in this carbon disulfide. Sometimes there'll be containers on there. I'm not sure where they're going to or coming from. You'll see some big yachts on there. In those containers, there's no telling what's inside of them. So livestock too. You'll see a lot of these ships taking livestock to like Puerto Rico. It's just general cargo. We send a lot of our junk off to these third world countries, and it's treasure to them.
I've been a pilot for 16 years now, and it's very nerve-wracking when you start because you're used to being on ships out in the open water, in the open seas, and all of a sudden now you're in charge of bringing a large vessel into a small river, and it can be intimidating.
Getting used to pulling up to the ships when they're moving through the water. You're so used to pulling up to something like a dock that's fixed and not moving, and you pull up to it slow. Well, the ships are moving 10 knots through the water when the boat pulls up to them, so when you slow down, they just keep on going.
And then you sit for the examination, and you have to have the top score in the examination, and then you get appointed here, then you begin to train. And then you have a 2 to 3 year training period, at least 2 by law.
One of the big things is we are required to have a physical every year. For the obvious reason, you don't want a pilot bringing up a loaded tanker to be not physically fit. To have taken the exam, you scored the highest, then you report to us. There's 12 pilots in the association, and you report to us, and you begin a training period as we call someone in training a deputy. He's a deputy pilot, and you train underneath all of the active pilots in the port. So you get the experience from each one of the active pilots. So you get hopefully you take the best from each one, and you're the best pilot that there ever was. Have very well trained and well skilled boatmen that are driving our boats out to the ship and putting us on board the ships, and basically our lives are in their hands.
52-foot aluminum pilot boats built in Massachusetts, and I think they're a total of about 1,200 horsepower. When it's blowing 30 knots out of the northeast and it's 12 to 15-foot seas, that's when it gets a little hairy. They don't like for us to splash them, which we try not to do. They think we do. They think that when we do it, we're down here laughing about it, which we are, but we're not doing it on purpose.
Very easy step, yeah. That was just step across. By law, we climb 30 feet, no more. And then after that, then they have to put down a special type of rings where we climb 30 feet up, and then we get onto a gangway, and then we go up from there.
The other hairy situations, if you will, is when we go offshore in a storm and board the vessel. We're climbing up a rope ladder on the side of the ship, and it can be scary, to say the least. It can be 20-foot seas, and the pilot boat is going up and down, and the ship is rolling like this, and there's a lot of timing involved.
If they fall in the water, that's when there's a good chance they're going to get killed. No one really knows whether they're going to get sucked into the props or not. There's people that say that because of the hydrodynamics that they're not going to get sucked into the props, but I don't know. No one is. It's a fear that everybody has. I don't think so much getting sucked under the ship, but getting run over by the pilot boat. And if that doesn't happen, then getting crushed between the pilot boat and the ship.
I love it all. I've done it for 21 years. I am never, ever bored. I have a fantastic time doing it. I enjoy meeting the crews and the ships, and I think the challenge is it's always different. You have a nice day, the current is strong one way.